Hey, that sounds like my talk show. What are they talking about? Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in to Taxi Talk. I'm here in the building at Radio 1 and my co-host, producer.
Good afternoon, this is Allie. How's everybody doing?
Allie. And also special guest in the studio is Christine Flowers.
Hi, Miss Flowers.
Around.
Hi.
And don't forget, Pastor Jamal Bryant is on the line.
Yes, he is. Tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March, and he's the co-chair of the march, and we're happy to have him here. Pastor Jamal Bryant, how are you?
I'm doing wonderfully well. How are you all?
Thank you so much for taking time to call into the show.
Oh, no, it's my privilege. You got one of my favorite members with you. I had to do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor.
Now, Pastor, how impactful do you feel this march will be as compared to how impactful it was 20 years ago?
Well, you got to realize that the mission has changed. That 20 years ago, it was about atonement and really just doing for self and taking responsibility. There was no ask. This one is really about policy, about the militarization of the police, about mass incarceration, disenfranchisement from the political system. And so the objective is different, not to mention that 20 years ago was men only. And 20 years later, it's men and women marching together. So the dynamics are completely different.
And speaking of the dynamics of the march, the theme of this year's march is justice or else.
Yes.
And my question to you is, explain to me what or else is. If justice isn't achieved, what will or else entail?
Well, Minister Louis Farrakhan is going to be rolling out that or else on tomorrow. And I wouldn't want to preempt his narrative, but what I will say is that 20 years ago and then 10 years ago when we did Millions More, there was never any bloodshed or any violence, and so the media is adding to that, but there are specific directives as to what are the executable action items that he's going to ask for those who are present to participate in on tomorrow.
And what do you hope that the march will achieve tomorrow? What are the objectives, briefly, that you feel that this march will accomplish tomorrow?
It's the evolution from protest to policy. What I've been really touting significance is that the average activist is 23 years of age, and as a consequence, they weren't alive, or if they were alive, weren't conscious at the last march. And so this is a passing of the baton for the emerging of a new generation to become involved in social activism.
And I know there's a pre-rally service tonight in Washington. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, it starts at 8 o'clock. I hope as many of you who can and will join us at the Union Temple Baptist Church. If you don't want to deal with traffic and fight through 295, we'll be live on the Word Network beginning at 8, broadcasting all over the world. I wanted to make sure that there was still a Christian presence, even though there's been an Islamic call, that being the national co-chair, I still needed to represent my faith, and so tonight is my attempt to do that.
And we definitely appreciate you for it. Ms. Flowers and Larry, do you have anything else you want to possibly ask Pastor Bryant?
Pastor Jamal Bryant. Now, when it's over with the march, the Million Man March, what are we going to do from here on out? You have any plans?
You have a couple of things. One is that we're in the middle of a presidential election cycle. And so in that presidential election cycle, tomorrow we're starting a massive voter registration drive for young people.
Excellent.
As well as we're going to be talking about economic development and how we move forward in economic development in terms of supporting black businesses and moving forward in terms of incubators for entrepreneurship and not contributing to those entities don't appreciate or respect black dollars.
And one other question. Now, since the Freddie Gray incident, how many, or was it an amount of youth joined your church? Is it a count on that? Has many youth joined your church as a member since that incident happened?
A whole lot more people, young and old, who were really looking for a church that was community minded, have linked arms, and not even just from the uprising, but from us being integrated in the community with the opening of the Freddie Gray Youth Center.
Yes, which has definitely been a powerful impact in the city. Pastor, how are you today?
Doing great.
Always a pleasure, and it's definitely great to know that you're here to educate us some on that Million Man March that's coming up, and I'm definitely looking forward as one of those younger advocates in learning and training to be a part of such a thing, especially from Empowerment Temple. So, but the Freddie Gray Youth Center has definitely been a powerful piece in Baltimore when it comes to the youth and having some positive things going on and some resources as far as some of the services. So that is something that you have definitely been doing an outstanding job in.
Okay, Christine, I'm putting you on our PR committee. We started just Monday our after-school program for about 200-300 kids, where we're doing after-school tutorial and getting them prepared for the SATs, as well as feeding them dinner 5 nights a week. So I'm excited about how our church is really living out the ministry of the gospel.
Pastor, put that address out there to the youth center, because that's something that everyone should be definitely ready to be a part of.
Yes, please. 1505 Utah Place. 1505
Jamal Bryant.
Utah Place.
On Taxi Talk.
In the heartbeat of Bolton Hill.